Disclaimer, this is an educational video and the things and advice you're going to get are not entirely true. Do things at your own risk, and audiences under 18, please stay away from this video. First, let's talk about what's in the video. 1. Why 59-year-old buying house in the first place? 2. How bank approved to give loan to this old people? 3. How is he going to pay that off? 4. Would it be better to live on rent? 5. Conclusion. Why is a 59-year-old buying a house in the first place? Okay, so if we see in today's society, most people are being satisfied and happy on short-term pleasure like parties, apparel, cars, fake jewelry, and travel. For this short-term pleasure, they forget the main thing. Oh, I forgot they like junk food too. But we'll not get into that $10 chocolate bar. And you know why they don't look at long-term problems, because they feel motivated by doing these short-term things. And my question is, why can't they? Because everyone's around them trying to do same, and if you talk about roof, these people get scared and become mad at the person who actually understand. Like, if I can't buy a house, work hard, and save money, then why would I advise him to do right thing? Then, by default he doesn't, or people doesn't let him do the right thing. Let's take a corporate example, that they're trying to ruin today's generation by spreading short-term pleasure. But is that really the whole truth? Aren't the people who are working at the company young people? Remember, the people who come with these ideas are Gen Z, X, Y, whatever you call it. And these people are doing this because their blood is burning to do some crazy things. Also, they're lazy to even think about this. So because of that, the young people aren't buying the house, so the spotlight is going to old people. Now you know why these old people are getting spotlight? Then let's talk about how bank approved to give loan to this old people or an. The one thing you should know before I begin discussing this topic is that these banks are making profit by giving out loans and earning from interests, so it's wise for them to give out loans. And if you think about it, if an old person who is around 59 or in that range would likely have kids and perhaps wife also if their relationship is going okay. Now he is old and can't go on like he used to when he was a young lad, so he didn't have an option to run around and have late-night parties. I'm talking about the kind of parties that a teenager dreams to go to every day to release his seeds. So anyway, let's get back to the topic. If we look from a bank perspective, it's really a win-win for them. First, an old man or woman comes, mostly dudes who get a loan, and then he pays okay for years, and then the point rolls it around where he can't afford to work and he's out of the job. But because he spread his seeds when he was a young lad, now he has a son, daughter, or perhaps a bunch of kids. And with him being old, the kids also grow up and move out from the house and live their life working a job and running around. But then they hear that their father is out of the job. So, as an act of reciprocity and gratefulness to father for bringing them to life, they decide to pay his father's bill until he dies. Still, the loan is not completely paid yet, so at that point the kid doesn't care about the house and the bank takes them away. Not always though. And this doesn't always happen, but sometimes kids pay all the money, or they decide to own the house and pay the loan. Still, bank get huge chunks of money and perhaps a house with chunk of money. Now we talked about how his house got away from him and his kids getting the house, but let's now look at the good scenario. How is he going to pay that off? In this scenario, we'll talk about how he is going to pay all of his loan and get a house before he passes away. Now remember when I say old people having houses at 59, there's two meanings behind it. To make it easy to explain, let's go with an iPhone example. When you buy an iPhone, whether it's on loan/EMI/lease, whatever you call it. But once you purchase an iPhone, it's yours. It doesn't matter if you take before loan or pay in full. So with housing, we have the same thing. Once we bought a house, it's ours. So there can be two scenarios. There are lots of scenarios, but the video is going to be longer if we cover each one of them. So I'll make it short and discuss only two for now. In first scenario, we bought a house when we realized we needed a house because we can't spend money forever. In the second one, he put the money on the house when he was young, and at 59 he officially paid all the money and the house is his now. In the beginning, I said that old people have ownership of houses because when you are a young lad get out of college, you also have to pay college fees before you think about a house. So it takes somewhere between years to decades to pay his student loan. I mentioned decades because if he doesn't land a job, it will be hard for him. So as he ages, when he pays his student loan, buys his favorite car and settles down, he becomes old dot and realized it's time to get a house. Okay, we talk about house a lot. Now let's also discuss about rent too and decide which will be a better option. Would it be better to live on rent? We talked about getting house because the old dude wanted to do what he wants and he's not going to listen your advice anyway. But why is he so desperate to buy a house? And why I'm calling him desperate? Well, he's getting his house without paying full money, so he's desperate. What else you gonna call? But he also know that he's paying interest over the house, but if he decides to live on rent, and when he finally have cash, that he'll get the house. The reason he's not doing it because he's gonna live on a rent, and the rent he's paying is also acting as an interest, and also he's living in a house that he can't even call his own, and later he's going to buy a house anyway for the kids before the passed on. So we can't call him by names, because as time passes, the house price is also going up. But when this video gets uploaded, there is also a crash where home prices are dropping low, and people are getting same house for 10, 20, even 30% less. Conclusion. What can I even say, because if I say anything, you're going to carve that into your mind. So I'll leave for you to decide what's best. And if you're agreeing that what I'm saying may be correct, then leave a like. Subscribe, maybe share also if you want. Tell me your thoughts on it. Spam the comment section.